An overnight, late night, early morning media statement issued on its website, the National Treasury announcing a reversal of the 0.5% VAT, which would have taken effect in a week's time, next Thursday, the 1st of May. But at what cost and what negotiations? What was traded in order to get the Ministry of Finance to back down? Khakhau is the DA's national spokesperson. Good morning, Karabo. I see from the DA's posts and statements overnight that you were expecting some sort of announcement. You were expecting some sort of breakthrough with Treasury's lawyers reaching out to the Democratic Alliance's lawyers, saying that there may be some form of out-of-court settlement. Is this what you expected?
Good morning, Lister. Thank you so much for having me, and good morning to your listeners. That is correct. The minister's lawyers reached out to our legal team yesterday asking for a settlement out of court. This is as far as Part A of our application is concerned. And we are jubilant as the Democratic Alliance. We're very, very happy because this is exactly what we wanted. Our fight at its core was to ensure that come the 1st of May, we do not have a tax increase. And this is something that we believe is a victory for South Africans who have made it very clear from the onset, even from the beginning when we were talking about 2%, that nobody has more money to pay for food and basic living, essentials altogether, for baby formula, for school shoes, for transport, the cost of electricity, pretty much everything that needs to be paid for, including in-bone chicken within stores for protein. So we're very excited as the Democratic Alliance that this is the culmination of our fight. We're obviously waiting for formal submissions from the minister's team thereof, and then we'll take it from there. But we are very excited that this is the result of our efforts.
The Treasury statement last night saying that there will now be a 75 billion rand shortfall, and also going as far to insinuate this will then mean a cut to frontline public services. Does this victory for the Democratic Alliance, as you're claiming it, also then come at the risk that funding to critical public projects will now have to be cut because of the 75 billion shortfall?
There is no need to cut frontline services and essential services such as healthcare, policing, and education. You would know, Lester, that in the beginning, the Democratic Alliance had already submitted a 6-pronged plan solution that is able to identify where there's fruitless and wasteful expenditure that can be appropriated or reorganized for the purpose of covering the shortfall. We made it clear that a few examples include the payments on ghost employees across government entities and across the government departments. For example, we know that PRASA's latest audit alone indicated that at least 10% of their workforce do not exist. So essentially, they're paying salaries for people that don't exist. Those are millions of rands that we're able to recover and make sure that we cover the shortfall. Number two, we made it clear to them that we live in a fourth industrial revolution. We don't need to be spending millions of rands on tenders for government advertising. All you need is social media, and we have you guys, and we don't have to pay as much money as we do. So if we cut that budget, government's advertising budget, by 30%, then we're able to save money there. Number two, we made it very clear that the current, by 50%, that is, the government advertising budget is by 50%. And then we made it also very clear that the current travel and catering budget for departments is way too much. We don't need as much money for people to be traveling domestically and internationally. Cut that by 30%, you'll have money left over. I could go on a list of things.
Let's go on of what happens over the next week. Is there enough time? Plenty of public holidays, short weekends. The minister will have to table the rates and monetary amounts and amendments of revenue laws bill to Parliament. Both houses, the NCOP, NA, have to sit. Is there enough time? Essentially only 4 business days left to table a bill, debate a bill, have the bill passed by 2 houses of Parliament, 2 branches of Parliament, and then also have it signed by the President before midnight next week?
Yeah, there is time. We have a lot of time to do so. Parliament is able to reorganize its calendar in accordance. If you're able to push away committees, like for example this week, The National Council of Provinces is on recess. The National Assembly's timetable says that we have committees the whole week. But next week, there's still time, and according to the legal framework, that affords us an opportunity for Parliament to deliberate. And this is something that the Democratic Alliance said we were going to do in our Khakhau, Lester. We said that we are going to have to go back should we win the case, which clearly we were going to win. That is why the minister's legal team asked for an out-of-court settlement. We said that Parliament must go back and relook at this thing. And we're glad, we're excited. And as the Democratic Alliance was saying, our commitment to the people of the Republic of this South Africa has been clear that we will fight as hard as we can to avert a VAT hike, and that's exactly what we've done.
Karabo, before I saw the Treasury statement early this morning, I saw the ANC statement last night of a joint media briefing on the resolution of the fiscal framework. The ANC, along with 9 other political parties, meeting at the Southern Sun Hotel in Sandton for a briefing to communicate the outcomes of discussions to resolve the fiscal framework. Notably absent are GNU members like the Democratic Alliance. I know you can't speak for the Freedom Front Plus, who is also absent. What does this mean? Including in this, the parties that will participate is BOSA and Action SA. Is the Democratic Alliance still part of a GNU in its current form?
The Democratic Alliance is still part of the GNU unless FedEx takes a decision otherwise. As for what the communication amongst those political parties can be, even though I'm a traditional healer, I can't tell you now. I haven't thrown the bows to try to guess what the conversation is going to be. So we'll have to wait to see what their communication is. All I can communicate on behalf of the Democratic Alliance right now is that the legal teams have reached out to each other. There is a conversation ongoing, and legally, as far as our challenge to force Treasury to not tax South Africans, we're well on our way.
Karabo, does the DA continue to seek constitutional clarity on the VAT bill? That was also part of your court case,
yes,
to decide whether or not a finance minister, simply by tabling a VAT increase, that then becomes law. And in this case, the minister would have to table another bill to reverse that. Are you still going to test that constitutional muster, or does this announcement last night, early this morning, means we're now withdrawing our case?
We are still testing it. That is part B of our application that you're referring to. And the reason why we're doing so is because the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa delegates the authority to tax South Africans for revenue collection purposes to the legislative arm of state. On a national sense, that is Parliament. Provincially, it's the provincial legislatures, and on a local level, it is the municipal councils. The current composition of the VAT Act gives that power to the Minister of Finance, who serves in the executive arm of state. So that power is inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution on which authority of the state has the power to tax South Africans for revenue collection. So we're still testing that. And we even have a case study now. The point we're making here is this. The Minister of Finance cannot on his own make an announcement on whether to increase or decrease VAT, and then Parliament must follow behind him. Like now, the minister did not need to go to Parliament for Treasury to release a letter to say this is the decision that is taken on tax. That's a problem, because the people who are directly voted for to carry that mandate or that responsibility as per the constitution of the country are parliamentarians, legislative arm of state occupants, Parliament. So it should be Parliament that decides whether we're taxing South Africans, and then the minister must roll out Parliament's decision, not the other way around.
Karabo Khakhau, DA National Spokesperson. 6 calendar days for business days, because at 15 minutes past midnight, the National Treasury issued a statement. We're going to table a new bill to reverse the 0.5% VAT increase. DA says there is enough time. We'll get some more reaction, more analysis over the course of the show. Some good news for consumers. The reversal on that 0.5% VAT increase. What it does mean is Treasury says there's now a 75 billion rand hole. And what we're going to have to do to balance the books, we're going to have to cut back on public spending.